All right. Welcome, everyone. We are bringing you the second cast of the season. Yesterday, we brought you AV versus WZ. AV ended up taking that 10-0. This time, a Division 1 match, I think a pretty hype matchup between Heaven and Metro Wipeout. Both teams returning from a bit of a hiatus. Heaven didn't play last season, they split up. And Metro Wipeout hasn't played a league since MKPS. So I think everyone is really excited to see these teams back in action. See how well they stack up against some of the teams that have been playing the past couple of seasons. So let's get into the lineups, and I think we'll see mostly recognizable names here. For Heaven, we have Asmact, Kasperinos, Jan, Hazumi, and Rose. I think the name that really stands out here is Kasperinos, the only non-white shirt me in the lineup, also the only non-Japanese player in the lineup. But from what I've heard, he understands some Japanese and maybe speaks some as well from his time in the Mario Kart 8 community and in general. So I'm excited to see how he does in this lineup. And the rest is pretty standard. Asmact is, I think, arguably a top 3 player in the game as of right now. Jan and Hazumi are pretty solid, very well-known Japanese players that have been around for a long time. And Roast is, in my opinion, a top 3, top 5 bagger in the game as well. Vinny, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you with what you said about Asmac especially. In my opinion, he's also a top 3 player in the game. He'll be leading the way for Heaven today. I think he'll be their main funnel presence. Expect to see him in first and second place a lot. And yeah, about the Casperinos, I think a lot of people thought we'd see him in WZ this season as he was a longtime WZ member, was playing with them in MKPS, but opted to play with Heaven this season. And it will be interesting to see if there could be a little bit of a language barrier. You said he knows some Japanese, so if he does maybe the common words with items and stuff, it might not be much of a problem. But I think it's a very strong lineup. Jan can hold his own 100%, Hazumi as well, and then an amazing bagger in Rose. Expect he'll probably get quite a few shocks. I think it's very, very, very good. Basically at best that Heaven can bring out, in my opinion.
All right, well, you say that about Roast, but if we quickly slide over to the Metro Wipeout lineup, he is bagging against another quite well-known name in Jazz. Jazz has not played for a pretty good time. I think he was just off doing his own thing for a bit, which is respectable, but he's back. He's another arguably top 5 bagger in the game. I have no doubt that he will not be facing any rust issues or very little rust issues. And then running wise, there's 3 very standard classic MW names here: Barney, Xander, and Sharon. I think originally Fox was supposed to play, but he subbed out kind of last minute for Macy. Macy is a name most people will recognize from Lightspeed, but she opted to sign up here this season, and she's playing her first match, so that's pretty excited. I think, honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot that I need or can say about Barney, Xander, and Sharon. I think everyone kind of knows who they are, how insanely good at the game they are. Um, and I think at the end of the day, this match will just come down to execution as a team. And maybe a little bit of luck, but let's not say that too loud, shall we? Just about how well can these 2 teams play together, make outplays on the other team. And I think I'm guessing shotgun will be pretty easy, even. So I think, I mean, this is very obvious, I think, to most people, but it's really going to be about what players are able to hold down their spots in the front. And I'm really looking at players like Xander, like Barney, and like Asmac to consistently be in those top 2, top 3 positions and kind of hold the fort down, so to say. That being said, I think we are just about ready to get underway. I see 10 people in the room just waiting to actually start. Also, for these fancy new lineup graphics that I think most of you will have seen for the first time yesterday, big shout out to Cynical. He made them. There's also a new document that has almost all the me's of every player in GSC, and we've been using that for this, and it's really sick, and I'm really geeked out because we have these fancy new graphics now. Okay, I just wanted to say that.
Yeah, it's really nice. It looks very professional in my opinion. The stuff is evolving constantly, and it's really nice just to see how far this stuff has come. over the last like I'd say year or so.
All right, enough tooting around horn. We're getting into the match. Flame runners being selected across the board, I would imagine. Let's see what. I don't think we'll see anything special for track picks here. Worth noting, haven't just actually played their first match against JC a little bit before this. They ended up losing that by 22, with Jan scoring a solid 50 points. So not off to a great start this season. So he'll be hoping to bring it back, I would imagine. Gasparinos wasn't playing that match, so we didn't actually get to see him in action yet. I think Gasparinos is definitely the biggest unknown going into this match, and we have his POV, and we have Asmac's POV, no Metro Wipeout POVs, and we'll kind of keep an eye on how he is able to do, and if he maybe runs into some issues with like communication to his teammates and stuff like that.
Yeah, I expect a bounce back from Jan, in my opinion. I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I'm gonna expect him to score well in this match, and I think
All right, race underway. Casper fishing for a draw, can't quite get it. So much of this race on RBC is played out in these first couple boxes. Hizumi pulls a TC. Gasmac finds Gasparinos finds triple shrooms. He uses one of them. That's Charon in first, Jan and Casper in 2-3. Casper is going to look to take the shroom cut here, obviously. And I think with the second shroom, that should put him into first. He should be able to shroom past Charon here. Yes, yep. He is.
Hopefully he can run it up, as this is a front run heavy track, especially if his team can get blue. He should be able to run it up, as he oftentimes does not maintain good lines.
Yeah.
Oh, banana comes up.
Doesn't actually. Very good awareness by Casper to see the green being, to like look back in time to see the green being thrown and hop out of the way. Swerving around with the fib is able to prevent Sharon from getting past him effectively. Creating a fib is such a like threatening thing to do. Shock comes in. That looked like a Heaven Shock, considering Casper threw his items away just before that. I'm not actually sure if anyone dodged. And top 3 actually for Heaven. We're limiting ourselves to Casper's PV for a bit because Asmac's POV is a good 30 seconds behind. So once we get that technical side of things shored up, we'll be able to have 2 POVs. I think, is Xander in first there actually?
I think he is, yeah. We saw Xander stream up there, I believe he is in first. That's going to make Heaven, or no, he's in second.
Oh, he's in first. He's in first.
Yeah.
Oh, triple shrooms in fourth for Casper is a huge item. Has to slow down a little bit here. Should be an edge. We might actually try to shroom Barney off. Gets really bumped instead. His hair. Barney's also shrooming. This has been a really pretty interesting race. I thought that Shock would be a pretty big race winger, but Xander able to golden into first. Gets his shroom here. Gets a DC. Steve P's able to cross this to Barney.
Does. Oh, the Barney passed it back. Oh, pass it back.
Well, no, it's not Casper.
Yeah, he was on the losing end, unfortunately, of that. So he'll find himself an ace.
We might. Rose using that shock really early indicates to me that he was like pretty far gone in advance, so he should have been able to. Well, he was able to get the second shock essentially. Let's see if dodging in the star here actually ends up doing anything. I see a lot of, I think, very mixed spots. I see third, I think 1, 3, and 6 for Heaven is my guess. Unless, actually maybe Xander kept first. Although I would imagine that the shock was designed to get Xander out of first. So we'll just kind of have to see. Oh, we get a replay here. Oh, Asmac barely got the S. That is rough.
That was unlucky. Yeah,
that is rough.
It looks like Xander did keep first there, so for MW, so yeah, you're probably looking at mixed spots here, yeah?
Yes, on the other screen we see the positions pop on 5 for MW, winning the first race by, what's that, 15, 23, 29, 1 point exactly. So
basically dead even after 1 race, basically.
As long as I did my math right, yeah.
I think that sounds right to me.
And for a race where the other team got to use 2 shocks, I would not be unhappy with that as MW.
I would not either. You will take that for sure, as Rose did get 2 shocks there. It should have, you have to think that Heaven should have gotten a bigger race maybe than they actually did, but you will definitely have to take that if you are MW.
Yeah, that first shock looked pretty good at first, but Xander Goldening Up really threw a wrench in their plans, I think, and they just were never able to actually get Xander out of first. Oh, it looks like something is going wrong. Okay.
Okay.
And the table will actually work, yeah.
They're up 1.
Let me do this again, Kristen, for you. Yes, MW did in fact win that race by 1 point. Okay, we're currently getting an ad on Casper's Beauty, so let's see how Asmax plays ourselves from 7th. I would imagine that that was Heaven's track pick.
It was, yeah, it was just Heaven track pick.
Box in 7, triple Stromes.
Right.
Golden would have been a little bit better, but this should be more than okay. Should be able to stroll.
And the first hope against triple reds.
Triple reds, that is brutal, and I think
Mace shows up again.
Yeah, I think she's too far gone for these rats to connect.
I would have to agree, yeah, especially since she might opt to go for the box out there on the last set. She'll probably get some protection.
Let's switch to Asmax PvP real quick. He's the one with the reds. Yeah, it does not look like... Macy shows the pip she had, but yeah, the red just breaks on the turn. But she lost a lot of time trying to break that, I think. So...
The first here, Heaven is now top 2.
Yeah, seeing Heaven with a blue line is a little bit weird, I can't lie, but...
Yeah,
will take me some getting used to that. On the other POV, Casper nearly missed out on the screens, I think, but does not get hit out. And he has a Shroom in second. I would imagine that he's looking to pass Asmax soon here, just to get that Shroom into first. Gets
probably, yeah.
backed, actually.
And he's off.
I think that was, yeah, we see on the POV we just switched to that Asmac did in fact back that green, and I think that is some of the communication issues we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, a little bit of a language barrier could be potentially, which might end up, who knows, coming back to cost him. We'll have to see. You never know.
For now,
Shock him in on Casper. Casperino from the POV.
Yeah, that, hold up, was that? Yeah, that was an MW shock, but Rose dropped the ground star for Asmac, and Casper also dodged. Let's switch to Casper's POV. I think he's in a position that is a little bit more interesting. We know Asmac is still in first. Barney gets hit out.
Blue coming in for Asmac. This is going to be very deadly for him. Should line? Yes,
Yeah, it does.
Actually, only losing only 1 spot there, so not as bad as it could have been, I suppose.
I am also getting news of a potential troll penalty on the...
Then
Yeah, it
I did look
happens.
at that pen. Probably definitely -5 for the one that Sharon submitted. So unfortunate.
Ooh, very... okay. Dude, very weird races, honestly. A lot happening. Spots changing a lot. And that back green on... Alright, I got interrupted a little bit, sorry about that, but I'm back.
Nah, you're good.
I was about to say that back green, that miscommunication between Asmac and Casper, ended up playing a pretty big role because we saw Asmac pretty comfortably keeping his first, and it is pretty reasonable that Casper would have been able to do the same.
I think so, yeah. Definitely very reasonable. As
All right,
not many
Asmac,
make many mistakes.
Asmac starting in second on gold mine. Let's see how this plays out. Gets the start slip, isn't quite able to get past first, finds himself in fourth now. And it looks like... Oh wait, I am getting confused by the blue line. Casper is indeed in second. Well, not anymore. I don't know what's happening.
I'm not sure.
Alright, Hazumi in second. It looks like Jan is just off the track. 1-3 for MW. Very early blue very early blue shell.
Almost right at the exact time you can pull it.
But it looks like Xander actually slowed down and the blue split on both Xander and Hazumi. So that is really well played by Xander. Casper is holding a start in fifth. Let's see if Rose is able to get shocked. One of the baggers just turned around, indicating that he probably has it, and I would imagine...
Casper forced into his star there after almost got back redded twice after that. Sure.
So I'm guessing we're dealing with an MW shock. Anyway, Asmac is in first somehow, and Casper gets backed off with the blue.
Yeah, that sucks. So looks like Asmac really the only one up there for Heaven right now. I believe MW is Super 3.
Yeah, and if MW has shock, actually it looks like Jazz is in a star there, but Jazz just touched the box, and then if that is shock, this is looking really bad for Heaven. Casper has a star though. Yeah, it's... Oh, what is going on? Okay, so no shock yet. Asmac should be able to keep his first the rest of the race then. Casper uses a star, no shock from their end either. Let's see what Casper gets here. Oh, actually he does dodge. Triple shrooms, let's see how many people he's able to pass. I don't know what spot he got, but I feel like he could have played that more aggressively at the end. Not entirely sure. I mean, I think maybe going wide is just a safe play though. We'll see the spots as they come in. It looks like my co-caster is having some issues with his PC. Yeah. All right, I'm on my own until Vinny joins back. But top 2, 4, 5 for Heaven. That shock, giving them everything basically. They were only first before that, I think, and that is an enormous race that swings to the even with the -5. Heaven is just up 14 points now. And I think we've seen a combination of shocks being really race deciding in spots, but also, especially this race, but also teams being pretty good at mitigating the damage. I think MW did a really good job mitigating the damage on the 2 shocks on RBC, and then MW shock on RSL only barely got them a winning race.
Back, my PC was doing some weird stuff for a second, but should be alright now.
Alright, that happens. Looks like Toad's Factory, and if Heaven is starting in a huge advantage with these spots, obviously, and if they're able to convert that advantage past, I would say, the first 2 turns of the track or so, we should be looking at a pretty big race from there. And let's see how Casper is gonna opt to just slow down for a better box, doesn't try to get a draft.
Going for Bill here, it appears. I didn't think he'd go for it despite with starting it, but doesn't end up getting it. Gets a star and a golden, so no luck for him. He's probably just going to golden up and try to get back up to the front here. We see Asmac. Heaven is top 2 right now. Macy breaking up.
That was a really nice attempt on the Nana. Doesn't quite connect. But the draft and the triple greens will force Macy to concede, I think.
Yep. Yeah, she'll concede to third, and and Asmac greens ends up greening Macy. That might have been a little laggy green, but it was that's really huge for Heaven as they look to just break away here in top 2.
Alright. Keeps his shroom past the POW. Chan should really be looking at, like, yeah, we see that on the other screen as I said that. Asmac now with the shroom in first. Casper hits something. Wasn't quite looking. Finds a golden in 7th.
He might opt to use this right after Shroomless. We'll see, because I'm not sure if Heaven is still top 2 or not, or where MW. They look to be a lot of mid spots though, but on this track you need all the frontal presence you can get, especially since I don't know it. I think it looks to be shockless right now though, at the moment.
Yeah, both baggers just kind of sitting there. I think Heaven is top 2 and 3, 4, 5. Xander gets forced into a star. Doesn't look like there's a shock in play yet. Casper finds himself a mega.
Oh, he gets back.
backed.
Flying corners. He's going to use this mega. Will we see shock come in here? It looks like it's still shockless, so probably not. Oh, late one.
I think one of the MW members also dodged. Yeah, we see Casper not really getting anything off that. I would imagine that having kept top 2, however, so I would say top 2 and then 6-8. But it looked like Macy tried to give her TC to Charon, so Charon probably wasn't a dodge when that shock happened. He might have been able to infiltrate into that top 2.
Very well could have. I didn't see if he did or not up there. I just saw, I was just looking at Casper POVs and just see him dodge last frame, which really didn't do anything. But yeah, it looks like it did. He got second.
Yeah, so Charon was able to get second.
And kind of salvage that for MW. Instead of top 2, 2, 4, 5, you'll gladly take that.
Still, I think winning by 3 points, and Haven takes home the first 2 GP points of this match. Against JC, they really struggled at the start, but Jan showing up huge. He got a 45 GP. Really was able to flip that around between 2 matches and leading Haven towards their 2 points on the board.
Yeah, really showing that his low score in the last war was just a fluke, and that he's a much better runner than the score might dictate.
All right, so MW now looking to close the gap. Obviously. But I think Haven will be happy that they have secured at least these first 2 points. We saw RBC got picked last GP at the start, so and RSL's also gone, so I'm gonna have to go towards another track for their even spots. I would imagine just Maple or DDR coming out again from Haven's side.
Maybe from MW side, you'll see a KC track pick or BC3 from them, I would imagine.
Yeah, BC3. Yeah, BC3. That's a good call by you.
Yeah, MW really proficient at the shortcuts. Like all 5 of them consistently make Ultra, so you'll probably see a couple of them potentially go for Ultra, maybe.
I think Leop showed me a list at some point of like all the MW members that had their tracks ranked in order, and I think for almost all of them, GBA BC3 was somewhere in the top 3, and then there were like 2 people that put it all the way at the bottom, but almost everyone in that clan really likes that track. So we'll see if they are able to convert. Casper also notoriously really likes this track, I think. So
yeah, he's really consistent at Ultra too.
I remember like that insane clip where he bonked off the wall to dodge a POW with like 2 shrooms.
Oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking
about. That happened during the World Cup, and I remember the casters going absolutely crazy over that. All right, Casper with a golden cut looks to be blocked. It's gonna be unblocked though. Yeah.
Yep. Him and Sharon will take Xander in first, but Casper's probably gonna get into first with his golden, I would imagine. Yep.
Yeah, I think whoever the MW member in third was, I think it was Charon, might have more shrooms there. So Casper is going to probably have to try to block the shortcut this lap.
Yep, 100%. He will. Oh, but Blue comes in.
Well, he will not be blocking. Casper will not be blocking the shortcut.
No longer able to block the cut. Oh, accidentally drafts into a Nana. That is a little unlucky there. So, it looks like. Well, the Heaven. Oh, Heaven is mid spot to see Barney towards the back as well. Full streams for Asmac in third. Going to be looking to take cut. It is blocked. Is it? Oh, he tried it.
I
You
think it
were
wasn't blocked, but Asmak did not make it. Casper does look to have made the cut, however. But
Yep.
Xander is just gone in first. And MW really just showing how well they are playing this track. I think the early blue ended up having a pretty big impact, taking Casper out of first immediately. But other than that, just a clinical race so far by MW.
Exactly. This is showing why they all love this track. This is why they're all very good at it. It's hard to get them out of top spots when they get in it. They tried double backing, didn't work, but there will be a blue on Xander. Doesn't look like it's gonna affect him that much, if at all.
I think chaining these shrooms, Casper's going to try to go for Ultra, but he actually ends up shrooming into Charon's greens, and he does not get TS. He might, yeah, he's gonna have to wait and grow for Shroomless. Let's switch to Casper. Oh, we barely see him miss the Shroomless, and Asbek misses the Ultra, and this race is over.
Yeah, it is over for Heaven.
This blue
it's
is
not gonna matter. It's
no.
not gonna matter. Heaven, or MW, my bad, is just gonna getting, I believe, top 3. Not sure where their last runner is. I don't think he's, yeah, Asmag's last, so that's, yeah, it's all MW this race.
I think the idea that Casper had was pretty smart. He stalled the triple shrooms in fourth, but he also knew that that MW top 3 was going to be blocking the shortcut and that his teammates were too far behind to unblock. So he just tried to shroom close to them, and he was going to try to take Ultra. But as we saw, he shrooms into Charon's greens, and the shock ends up happening. Still recognizes that he has to take shortcut to make something happen that race, but unfortunately doesn't actually make the shroom. It's kind of an uncharacteristic mistake. Top 2 for 6, by the way, for MW.
Yeah,
And then Asmak kind of had the same thought process. Well, if I don't make Ultra here, if I don't make cut, this race is just gone. So I might as well try. But he didn't make it. So just a very well executed race by MW with a little bit of fading on Heaven's part.
Yeah, I don't think it would have really mattered for MW in my opinion. I think they still would have had a huge winning race, even if Casper made the Shrimus and Azmek made the Ultra. Like you rarely, like yeah, you may rarely see them make those kinds of mistakes, but I don't think it would have mattered in the grand scheme of things for that race.
All right, track picks coming in. Gardens. I can't even see because I have the stream minimized. Yes, Gardens and DK Mountain, another staple MW track. All right. So once again, we see a team getting a good race and then getting their running track. Let's see if MW is maybe able to capitalize a little bit more than Heaven did on the TF track pick.
I think they will, in my opinion. I think they will capitalize much better. And since it good chance of it being shockless, we may just see more of it's just rather of who gets into first and runs it up that wins, rather than maybe just being
Casper.
the shock.
I don't think anyone ever seen do that, honestly.
I've never seen that mistake before. I don't even know what happened there, to be honest.
Just hit a weird piece of KCL. Anyway, let's watch Azmak. He has a golden in what looks to be fourth. So as long as he doesn't get hit out here, he should be able to golden into first at the end of the lap here. We see Jan also up there. Yeah, we see Asmak driving nice and wide, making sure not to get back. And he's going to start goldening here. Macy is actually in a star. That complicates things a little bit. First, he gets into first, but he immediately gets redded out. Yeah.
Casper does have blue and throws it right before the cannon.
That is.
I don't know if I agree with that. Oh, there's a shot.
Oh, this might end up not working out.
I don't know.
Jan didn't get blue there?
They're top 3 for Heaven? How did that work out? How did that work out? That somehow works out brilliantly for Heaven. Wow.
I really thought Jan was going to get blue there.
Me too. I thought he was in first. I thought the blue's going to target him.
That
was going to be a misplay.
That bow. Bow.
It just works. You take that. Wow. Although MW is starting to creep back into the top spot, so I believe Jen got redded. Now Casper is going to get redded here. Yeah.
Cool attempt.
MW is...
Yeah, taking it. That bow was absolutely brutal. We saw both Hazumi and Jan just losing due to that POW. And MW top 3, the blue's going to change a little bit. I don't think there's a second shock in play, or else we would have seen it come in right there. Blue gets thrown. Casper in 5. We see Asmec on the other POV. Shroom in what is now 3rd. Alright, let's see if those reds are able to connect. It looks like Charon got hit out by the reds. Asmec also gets hit out, and top 2, Casper.
Oh, he feels the cut.
Casper.
Oh no! Oh, that cannot happen, Casper. Oh my gosh, that is
Asmec
brutal.
should at least be able to get into 3rd here, yeah.
He did.
But that is top 2-4 for MW. What a wild race.
Another big race from W. Even though it looked like it was going to turn into Heaven's favor with that lap 2 shock in the blue, they were top 3. I thought for sure they were going to run away with it and get a huge race there, but MW turns the tables rather quickly with those reds and the POW. Massive fail on the cut lap 3.
I better see that POW in a montage somewhere at the end of the season, because that was one of the nastiest POWs I've seen in that area in a long time. Alright, top 2, 4, 6 again for MW. Really taking the league back, and I think safe to say they might be winning this GP.
I think so too, yeah. I think they'll definitely be taking it, and can even the GB points up 2-2 for this match. Let's see though. Happens here on race. This next race.
Alright, in div-wise, let's have a look at the table. Xander MVPing the match on 67. I mean, I think out of the MW players, you could pick any one of those 4 and reasonably expect them to MVP the match. And then Jan really picking it up. He's on 58 after 6. I know I just got a ping from Leon. He said he drafted both Xander and Jan for his fantasy, so he is a MVP man right now. Asmac, as expected, on 54, and Casper maybe not doing as well as we expect him to. Only 21 points halfway through the war.
I think you could see him pick it up halfway through. I don't expect him to score like in the 40s or 50s. I expect him to bounce back. But yeah, as for MW, it's kind of business as usual right now. They're all those guys are kind of interchangeable as far as scoring big. Any of them can pop off on any given day. Some of them could struggle a little bit, but yeah, you really don't see them faltering, really, if ever, for MW.
Alright, let's see how Casper approaches it, or how Heaven at large approaches this. Yeah, he tried to see if he could sneak in a box. Doesn't get a box. That is
Ends up missing a bit.
not ideal. Asmac 2 shrooms in first, however. Second. My bad. 1-3-4 for MW. As long as Asmac is able to not get backed out by Xander, he should be having a pretty comfortable race. Casper uses a star. It's gonna fish for golden most likely. We see both baggers neck and neck.
Did Xander take cut lap 1? Did you happen to see?
No, I think Xander started the first. We see one of the baggers taking the shortcut, the other one doesn't. That is Jazz in 10. But I don't see... Yeah. Okay, so Roast does currently have the shock. He pulled it at the maze. Oh, that is a nasty snipe. I don't know who threw that Nana.
I didn't see either.
That came from all the way downtown.
Asmac in first with a shroom now. This is really good for Asmac. And like you said, if Roast has a shock, this could be really huge for Heaven. As for, you know, the red in 4th right now, trying to hopefully get that mega.
Asmac! He just misses the blue dodge. What?
How does that happen? Wow.
I
shocked.
was about to comment on Heaven having all the tools in their hand. They have shock, they're top 2-4, they have a shroom in first, but Asmac just misses the blue dodge.
There it is. Yeah.
Alright, well, shock comes in. We saw Asmac actually just respawn dodge. Casper dodge in first, golden off there falling off for Asmac. So I think we're still looking at a very good race, although another blue does immediately come in.
TC for Asmac.
Yeah, let's see if he's able to pass us off to Macy. This is a really important interaction for this race.
Only chance.
Misses her, just passes this to his bagger.
Yeah, safe play right there, safety.
Yeah, very smart. And this is top 4.
Yeah, you're right. Top 4 for Heaven. Wow.
That was really smart. I think Asmac knew he was always able to pass it to his bagger, but he forced Macy to slow down, trying to pass the TC to her. Macy recognized it slowed down, but it just slowed her down, as I said. and then being able to pass the TC to his bagger, and even though we saw some questionable misplays, it ended up not being the biggest of deals.
You can say he redeemed himself, but that just shows you the IQ of Asmax right there. Not only hurting Macy's race, and then also he knows he can get rid of the TC either way. He just wants, and he's just trying to do everything he can to help his team out, and that showing off those 200 IQ plays. Even though he did have some unfortunate misplays, he still didn't end up not mattering as having its top 4 regardless.
All right. In the meantime, we saw another penalty coming in, probably -5 again towards Heaven. So 5 points deducted from their score because Roast is a bit of a naughty boy today, it seems.
Trying to have a little fun, spice things up in match. Gotta make it as close as possible, am I right? Trying to become penalty MKWii, it seems.
Yeah, I've been pinged like 3 or 4 times during this match for other pens.
Life of a referee. Just another day being a GSC referee. So, BCWii coming in for Heaven, Delfino for Metro Wipeout. I'm looking at Casper's POV as I'm not good at reading Japanese on Asmax POV, so I'm going to rely on the other ones as far as track picks, and Delfino does come in from W, so they get their track
So with the 2 track picks, with the 2 penalties in the books, Heaven up 9. Going into this GP, they were up, what is that? 17 points. So they're going to have to get a pretty big race in order to get the GP point.
Yeah, 100%. It's if you can get like going up like 4-0, like getting the 4, securing at least 4 GP points, even if you don't win the war, it could end up being huge. As you obviously want every point you can get as they count towards playoffs at the end. You gotta do everything in your power to secure.
On the reset track, we saw Casper get a draft at the start, or I saw. Most of the viewers would not have seen that.
Hits the wall, and so he's gonna have to burn a shroom. He's gonna have to use all 3 of his shrooms to take the double here for Asmax. He does end up making.
Casper ends up being able to just hold his first throughout the entire lap. Barney, did he shroom there? It's kind of hard to tell with the lag between EU and Japan what ended up happening. It might have been a draft, yeah.
I could be wrong. I think it was a draft, but who knows? Yeah, with that lag, it's a big play from Barney. Now he's opened up a little bit of a lead in first. Going to show off his lines, his amazing lines.
That was Casper's fifth that Asmac just hit. I think another small miscommunication due to the language barrier. That should not be allowed to happen straight up.
It's those little plays that who knows might end up costing him. You really never know. But yeah, the little things, and especially in high div, just cannot happen. They will come back to bite you.
Asmac just demolished some of those MW members though.
Straight up.
And looks like Macy is getting redded a couple times as well. Casper hits and Nana, that pretty ought to have been avoidable. Alright, so it looks like Barney and Hazumi are all the way up there. Barney kind of gone in first.
I don't see him getting taken out of first, barring a blue shell. That's really about all I can think of that's going to get him out of there. But Heaven's with 2, 3, 4 still, I believe. Jan is still behind Casperinos. And Asmac only one back. There's 3, 4, 6. Let's see what Asmac gets here at this set. Wait, what happened to Casper?
He just drove off. What happened to him? What did he do? He just drives off the track. The thing is, I am all about highlighting cool and the good plays, but truth be told, we have seen Heaven members mess up quite a bit here and there. It looks like still they're going to get at least an even race, but I don't think they're winning this GP. It looks like 2, 3, 4 for Heaven.
Yeah, it's still 2, 3, 4, and then 6. I forget what Casper got. I don't think I saw what he got. It was still a good race for Heaven, but those mistakes, just stuff that can't be happening in D1 high div. You might be able to get away with those mistakes in low div, but you're not going to be able to get away with those mistakes in high div, especially against a team like MW.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 6 still for Heaven, and they actually ended up winning the GP by 1 point. Yeah, that is possible because it's -5 on the play. Heaven wins the GP by 1 point and goes up 4-0 in GSC points. Only an 18-point lead though, so MW is still more than able to get this match back.
Oh, yeah, they're very much in this match. Don't count them out whatsoever. It's in my opinion, I think it'll come down to the last race. but we shall see.
Yeah, I'm all about the good plays and the high plays and the sick plays, but we have seen some questionable plays from
Plays they
the
just
Heaven
like to
members.
forget. They just like to forget about those plays, definitely.
Yeah. So I've been informed that someone in chat wants to know how you got the name Dragonfly. Well, you see, I was a little Dutch kid. I was like 14 years old. I had to make an online name for myself. And I think dragonflies are cool animals, and I think Dragonfly is a sick name. So 14-year-old me is like, Dragonfly, that's it. That's me. Now I'm here.
That is a cool name. I've like dragonflies, ancient animals. They've been around Earth for well over 300 million years. It's one of the longest animals. You have to respect them 100%.
Well, I hope people respect me. That would be nice. Anyway, Heaven looking a little bit shaky, but still in the lead, so ostensibly it's going quite fine for them. And even though these track picks all look the same, they're not. It's DDR versus Grumble Volcano. DDR is the track deck that's picked.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll probably see. Yeah, MW just try to get ahead with Shroomless probably early on and try to build up a little bit of a lead. We'll have to see what items though were pulled early on if they'll get taken out or if they'll just keep running.
Alright, Casper doing the Mogi strategy, waiting for the tight boxes to respawn. I've seen Leops do that a million times on his Mogi streams.
It does get
Alright.
a golden, so it was worth.
That is a green shell. And now I'm kind of wondering if Barney maybe has the other golden. Both baggers have moved. It looks like Casper actually got trolled a little bit there, but couldn't quite tell by what bagger that was because I was looking at the minimap.
I didn't see either. I have no clue with the BOVs. Coming in, it's not really going to affect Azmac really that much. He's still going to keep his composure. First, Casper going for the Ultra. Will he do the full Ultra? This will probably get him up there in the top 3, top 4, okay.
Barney took Ultra, but I think he maybe had triple shrooms.
Nanas and ends up actually nanning Casper with those reds. He's going to get redded again. Very unfortunate interaction.
Casper finds a bow in 8th. That is an interesting item. Maybe you get Chan in the air here with the bow. Or actually ends up holding and causes set. Won't be able to actually take the Ultra because of that.
I think Chan target a lot of MW members with that POW potentially. I saw some going for the Ultra on the minimap.
Yeah, that might have been the case. I saw Jam was doing it in the star, so get affected by the POW obviously. In any case, Azmac looks to be holding it down at first, and I believe Heaven will be second still as well.
Azmac is absolutely gone first. Really, even if blue comes, I think he'll still be just fine. As you said, I think Heaven is in second right now. Shock comes in.
Shock comes in. We see Casper dodge. I think one of them. Yeah, Charon also dodged. 2-3 for MW, 1-4. I think 2-3-5-6 actually for MW. So slight winning race on their end. Will help close the lead a little bit, but not too significantly.
Honestly, at this point, you really don't need the huge races. Like any winning race, at this point, you'll take what you can get.
Yeah, small steps. Small steps. Checking the table, but the difference did indeed slink from 18 to 13 points. So if they keep that up, 5 points per race, they will in fact win the match by 2. So they are all good. Let's see if we saw Casper actually get bumped to the off-road. I'm wondering if that was a troll or not. If it was, I am getting the little bit. I'm getting the ping eventually. Let's have a look. I'm not actually seeing anything in the rap chat, so I would imagine that it was roast.
Probably, yeah. I would be safe to assume that at this point for sure.
This match has been pretty wild so far. I feel like just a lot happening during most of the races. So I'm happy we actually managed to get 2 POVs. All right.
Even if it is both from Heaven, still 2 POVs better than 1, of course, or none.
All right, race 10, 3 races to play, and the track will be, in 2 seconds we will know, Moonview Highway. Pretty interesting pick, I think, for these 1-4 spots. A lot can go wrong here, a lot can go right here. And it's really like entering this boost panel section that you just saw on your screen. We'll know how the race is shaping up and what is going to work out. Yeah, the NA to Japan lag, not too friendly. The Casper there isn't able to get off a draft. It looks like Barney drafts, but doesn't get too much out of it. Asmac holding first. Let's see. Oh,
He backs I think he got 2 MW members, but does get Casper. So, to be honest, that might have benefited Heaven, or no, yeah, Heaven more than MW in the long run. But we will have to see.
yeah, especially with the green he just got off, I think he already has a really good lead in first, and I think overall it was good from Heaven. But it's once again, it's just like those little communication things between once again Casper and Asmac that come back to hurt them. Because even though getting the trade is okay, Casper just did not have to actually hit that fib. That fib should have been called out ahead of time, and he should just not be in the middle there. But we are in a different spot in the race. Asmac is actually not in first anymore. Battle Glitch shows me Hizumi in first, MW234. Yeah, I think he got blued. And Casper with a star in fourth. If Heaven has Shock here, this should end up being a pretty solid top 2 for Heaven.
Definitely. I'm not sure exactly who has Shock. I haven't really, truth be told, I haven't been paying that much attention to the bagging battle this race. I've been focusing on the runners, but
Alright, it's not MW that has Shock. We see Macy using a star there and dodging. Casper uses his own star. No Shock coming in. I don't know if he actually hit Sharon. I don't think he did.
I don't think he did. Yeah, he's in first.
Hizumi got taken out somehow, some way. It's up to Casper here to make something happen. Shock comes in. We see Asmac dodging a Mega.
Heaven Shock right there. Pulls
Casper,
a bomb.
Casper would have really liked if that Shock was just a tiny bit earlier, and he would have been able to get the boost panel immediately. But we see Asma crossing in first. I didn't see Charon, but I would imagine he didn't hit that bomb. That bomb felt pretty telegraphed. So maybe a 1-3 from Heaven's End?
I believe so, yeah. Sharon did not hit that bomb. I did not see Asmac's Funky cheer, so no one got hit by that bomb. But yeah, Casper got a really good spot too, I believe. Sharon really the only top spot for them that lap 3, as he did try a prediction with his Mega as well.
Alright. Oh, Casper did get second. He was... Yeah, Casper was apparently able to worm his way past Sharon there at the end. Top 2, 6, 7. Brings the lead to 22, and this next race most likely decides the war. If Heaven is able to get another neutral winning race, it's going to be really hard for MW to come back.
100%. Like this, if Heaven does win this race, even by a lot, you could be looking at the final nail in the coffin. But I mean, don't by no means is MW out of this. I'm sure in their call they're contemplating how exactly they can come back and how much those guys have been playing with each other for like over 10 years now. You know, they're very comfortable in their own with each other, and they're not that much at all nervous just yet.
All right, so 2 more races to play. We are nearing the end of this war. DK Summit gets picked. Probably a Heaven track pick.
I think it was, yeah. I believe I saw over on a Casper screen it was, so we do get their track pick, and we'll see if they can run it up here, start off nice first turn. What will Casper get? Gets a Nana. I'm gonna trail this here.
Yeah, Heaven able to keep their top 2 through the can nicely, but this track revolves around the double shortcut and what happens there. Jan Shrooms up. I see a lot of Heaven members up here, but we'll just have to see what spots are after players land
He read
or
Xander
don't.
off, I believe, there. So it is top 4 for Heaven, I believe, early on. Xander got taken out there really big, really huge. And we'll see if Heaven can just keep all their top spots. I don't know what happened to Oh, Azmac gets bomb sniped. Out of second there, just barely. Unfortunate.
All right, top 2-4 for Heaven. And I mean, we're just playing the same game again, except that Heaven is in slightly better spots now. Triple shrooms for Casper. It's not going to do too much here. Might be able to save himself if he takes a bad double, though. Charon, the red doesn't end up impacting him that much. Charon opts to go for single, which allows Casper to sneak at the third hair, and this is top 3. But I can't quite tell where the baggers are.
One
And
bagger was not, I don't think was doing the backwards. I could be wrong. Maybe they've already made it back. Oh,
the
yeah.
other bagger is driving. That is a Heaven shock, and I think
Shock.
I think I can quite safely say that this war should be over.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's going to be wraps right there. Yeah, Sherman third for Casper too. I don't see them losing top 3 at all.
Yeah, a bit of a victory lap. Even goes for double still. I don't think that's quite necessary, but
I didn't
doesn't.
Don't do the single. I didn't expect him to just go for broke there, but he does.
I mean, he needs those indiv points. Casper, he needs the indivs. All right, top 3 for Heaven, and that should be, yeah, top 3, 5. Yeah, that is game. They will be up more than 41 at the end of this race, and the last race will just be a bit of a victory lap.
Is MW able to get the GSC point this GP, do you think, or has Heaven already wrapped up this GP as well? Like, can MW play for something still for this last race?
I would have to have a look. So I think going into this GP, Heaven was up 18 points. Going into this race, they will be up 40 something, 47. So 47 minus 18 gives 29. So a top 4 from MW side would tie the GP or win the GP depending on the backer point. Although I did just get pinged with another penalty. So
Yet another pen. Oh, who's this? Which team is this for?
I am looking at the clip right in this moment. That is a -0.
Yeah, I don't
We
think
saw one of the I think Hizumi that is got wheelie bumped by Jazz, but Jazz was just driving backwards nice and clean, so nothing.
Yeah, that won't affect anything. It'll just be business as usual then here for this last race. I do not know what track picks are being picked from either. Okay, here we go. Never mind. So GV and BCWii here from Heaven picking BCWii and GV for MW. And yeah, it'll be GV. So MW does get their track pick here. See if they can still salvage maybe 2 points and avoid being 10-0'd by Heaven here.
All right. Yeah. Well, top 4 is a tall order, but we'll just kind of watch the race play out. Coming from the war I was watching just before this on Torp's stream between Heaven and JC, I really thought MW would maybe have the edge, but we saw Jan just stepping up massively. Casper overall, even though he had some unfortunate miscommunication, still had a pretty good impact on the war, I would say. And Rose doing a really good job on the shocks. It really felt like Heaven Shock were just overall, I think there were more of them, although I didn't keep track exactly, and they felt more impactful.
Heaven definitely got more shocks this war. Like we saw a lot of the races it was Rose getting a shock. I don't know what happened to Jazz this war. If you mentioned before that he hasn't played in a while, you wouldn't think that he'd be rusty, but could there be just a little bit of rust?
Maybe a little bit of rust, maybe also just a couple bullet bills in the item roulette, and that's just how it goes sometimes, huh?
It do be like that sometimes when it comes to bagging. Ooh, very, very luck-based, often.
You could say that. Barney also makes the rock. Chan might have another shroom as well. Maybe with an MW shock this is top 4-able, but we'll see. I keep getting tagged for penalties in another war this time.
Passes the TC to Azmax, but he's still gonna be in last. Yeah, this is looking pretty bleak for MW as Heaven is still 2-3, Barney in first, but he's not going to be going for cut, and 2-3 both take the respawn, so yeah, I think we can safely say that MW will not be getting the GSC point for this GP. Yeah, top 2, this is just going to be...
Barney's still on.
Gonna
Barney
try
has a
to
mega?
He had a mega in, Ashley has a mega in first, wow. And
Okay.
almost on the line. He gave it his best effort, you can say.
He must have gotten a box so that people were taking respawn. And you do not expect Barney to have a mega there, but didn't end up
Yeah,
mattering too much.
100%. Maybe one of the last things you'd expect them to have, but to no avail, unfortunately. So yeah, it's going to be a 10-0 win for Heaven here.
All right. So, real quick, with this war nearing its end, we are going to end up raiding a Torpedo, who is playing JC versus JX2 right in this moment. Although their war should be about finishing up. Then later this day, I think at 3 p.m. EDT or 9 p.m. if you're in Europe, we will see Metro Wipeout take on JX2 as well. We won't be casting that, but I would encourage everyone to try and see if there's a stream for that match. Also later today, an hour after that at 4 p.m. EDT, we will have IF versus Daisy. Two of the maybe less hyped up teams in this division, but still two very interesting teams, I think.
Definitely.
So go watch that. I am quickly checking the list, see if there's anything else today. At 5 p.m. EDT in Division 3, there is HS versus AP. HS winning their promotion match, and AP sporting the pretty notorious Bat Cake in Division 3, so that should be an interesting one. And I think that is about it. There are matches in Division 4 between BZ and LV, and between LV and BB71. But this, you can all in the match channel in the Grand Starcraft Discord server, you should be able to find all of this information. Anyway, big congratulations to Heaven on their win. It was super sick to see Casper playing with them. I think it was a really interesting match, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time for the next cast.
Have a good day, guys. Enjoy your day.